Hello, everybody. Robert here, and today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. Inspired by one of my absolute favorite YouTubers of all time, Mushara with Some Ordinary Gamers. Check his channel out; it's freaking awesome. He is a very real person. I like it. But anyways, we're going to be browsing the deep web. I didn't originally want to take his idea, and in fact, I've been watching it for a long time. And one day he just said, do it. And I was like, well, sure, why not? He didn't say it to me directly. He made a video. He's like, "Yeah, go make videos about this. I want people to see it." So I did, and I hope you enjoy it. But for now, let's go to the first website. Super Hitman. It's not a game. It's a real job. So starting out, we've got a Hitman website. Interesting. I'm not too sure if these are really a thing or if it's just like a someone being edgy or trying to scam you out of your money, but let's take a look. It's not a game, it's a real job. Finding a hitman in the real life is troublesome. You need to go search in local crime gang members or drug dealers. A customer can run into an undercover cop or could be refused by gang members. It is difficult to go around and ask people if they don't know hitmen. If they know hitmen. Finding a hitman in the deep web is easier. We got some death rules. Got a nice little deep web hacker picture down here. Super hitman at protonmail.com. Protonmail being a inner deep web anonymous email. We got a MindCloud style security apps, insider trails, malware, government sharing. Don't be the last person to talk to the victim on the phone or send them a message. Keep your house clean. Don't have photos of the victim in your house. Don't be caught anywhere near the scene. About me, I am working around the clock. I am around Warzone and get more urgent things to worry about. I am extremely professional in my dealings and try my best to keep to contractual terms. Rules. There are several benefits on hiring a hitman in deep web or over hiring a hitman in real life. The customer is fully anonymous and undercover cops do not see his face, not know his name. So we got Super Hitman. I don't see any way to hire him. So maybe he's just telling us about his life and such things. So it's just he's just here, trying to make a buck or something. I guess you just contact him and that's it. Well, I don't want to be his one of his targets, so let's go to the next site. Hi, this is a web page about things I want to write about. I wrote it, so I'm fairly sure it's stuff I want to write about. If not, then that's an accident and you shouldn't read it. Here's a list of things I wanted to write about. We got onions and snow, things, farming time, greetings, beep boop, problem, tree people, and poop. A is a word, northern hemisphere, pants. When I'm not writing stuff here, I usually write in another place using more normal words. How can words be more or less normal? Words are weird. So let's click that and that, see what those are. We'll do snow, onion, we'll do beep boop, and A is a word, tree people, and poop, and pants. Alright. Rustic cyberpunk, coffee code cabins. Approaching my favorite season. It's almost that time of the year for the leaves to start changing and temperatures to drop to tolerable levels. This is my second favorite season after winter. I had started to lose my love of the changing seasons with adulthood, and I think I'm only now regaining its intensity. I'm not exactly sure why now, but maybe I've been taking life less seriously and appreciating its absurdities in amazement, especially in the last year. It's hard to go solo without being acutely aware of how all the infrastructure I rely on is supported by countless people toiling away. My old male man retired recently, and it's been affecting me a lot more than I realized at the time. I genuinely miss the guy. I no longer live in that neighborhood since moving to the apartment, but for some reason, I always expected him to be delivering mail. I wish him and his family well. Monotony of work seems to have reduced my perceptions where things are the way they are forever. I'm glad I've been slowly winding down my responsibilities so I may resume consciousness. I've been trying to minimize my reliance on that infrastructure as much as possible while staying within sane limits. I'm probably not going to be building my own cars, airplanes, roads, and bridges anytime soon, but I'll probably try my hand at more mechanisms that can replace them as much as possible. Winter gardening is something I've always wanted to try. Fall autumn is already ideal to test some ideas before the snow starts, and the office has a balcony that I'm sure I can borrow for a bit. My previous experience in growing tomatoes and bell peppers, which seemed to like my treatment so far. My immediate concern is getting the wood stove design in order. I've been practicing welding a lot more, and I think I like it almost as much as carpentry. It's a lot more difficult than I first assumed, and that's incredibly pleasing to me. My keyboard accustomed fingers are rejoicing at the texture of flex covered electrodes. Living in an apartment has reduced my access to it more than I like, but I'm still grateful for the opportunity to weld whenever I can. I may pursue making or repairing things as a second source of income once the day job is finally done. Meanwhile, I've been working on the cabin design as well. Ideally, I want to create both as an unified package for everyone to download freely. Okay, so he's just a guy writing about stuff. Coffee, code, cabins. He's got a couple different links that you can subscribe to his RSS feed. Here's an archive here. I'm not going to click on any of that, but well, how long is this? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, okay. One more. Vampires, necromancers, and I'm still missing the details. I came across the Anita Blake series by Laurel K. Hamilton completely by accident years ago while browsing the then mildly popular Freenet distributed network. There was a fan site dedicated to the characters, their bios, and ancillary information about the universe. I lost interest in Freenet fairly quickly because of the unsavory content on other free sites and glacially slow speeds, but Anita Blake remained. It's the book series that has intrigued me the most that I haven't actually read. I have a vague understanding of the characters, creatures, their histories, abilities, and generally what happens to most of them, but that all came from peeking into profiles written by others. Maybe the volume of original content is keeping me from starting. This is a problem I share with A Song of Fire and Ice, i.e., Game of Thrones. Supernatural and science fiction themes and always seem to fascinate me, whether that's in literature or other art forms. I think I'm trying to satiate myself with the most different realities possible to our current one. Saturated segment for content which makes sifting through it all the more daunting. One of these days, I'm actually going to sit down and read the damn things. I have a habit of ingesting the books I read a little too strongly, almost to the point of becoming one of the characters. Those include the books I've absorbed in trickles through web osmosis. I don't hope to raise the dead anytime soon, but the prospect of a DIY lab to hack DNA in the cabin intrigues me. When I first came across the Anita Blake series, my formerly teenage angst was still fresh in my mind since back then I only recently stopped pretending I was one of those deaf mutes. I'm now steadily turning into an old man, and fighting sharks has left me exhausted. Okay. I don't know if Anita Blake free site is still active. I don't remember any addresses or admin contact info to find out. I haven't used Freenet in a very long time. Seemingly immortal content on the free internet have weaknesses just like vampires. So yeah, it's just a guy writing about his life and uh, the things that he does or is doing, and that's really cool. So it's just a serious little thing that he did. So all right, that's that. Rustic cyberpunk stuff, blog hi things I thought about, YouTube, GitHub. Let's take a look at the YouTube if it loads. Uh, for now, snow. And this is the same guy I think, but writing in weirder words as he put it. Snow is water that falls out of the sky, except it's not like rain. It's a colder rain that feels lighter up to a point. It's water shaped in a funny way because of the cold. Snow is light and heavy and cold. Snow doesn't fall out of the sky, but from clouds. Why do we say things fall out of the sky? The sky goes on forever, so if anything falls outside, it fell from the sky. There's air, birds, snow, clouds, space, and it's all part of the sky. Although space falling out from the sky would be weird. The sky is weird. I love the snow because it's my favorite kind of water. I couldn't make people out of rain, but I can out of snow. I can also make snow at home, so my home is kind of a sky. Some people get scared of the snow. Some people hate the snow. People who don't like the snow usually have to drive in it, and sometimes the people fuck. Sometimes the funny shape of cold water gets in the way. Driving is going fast in a metal and plastic box while getting angry at other people in their metal and plastic boxes. People have a hard time driving without getting mad at something. Driving is weird. Today I thought about the snow. January 23rd, 2015. So this guy, he has a really good talent for writing in different styles, and I really appreciate that. And he makes a good point. You know, we do that. The sky is weird, snow is weird, rain is weird, and everything is weird, and we're all living in the sky. Right on, right on, man. You do you. Onions. Uh, Onion. I've moved to an onion. This onion is like the web, but smells different. You need a special peeler to get here, but if you're here, then you already have the peeler. It's not like a real onion, so you can't taste it. There are other onions besides this onion. You can cook onions using directions, but some of those directions are bad. I'm an okay cook too, but I don't know how to cook all those onions. I just know this one because I cooked it. I'm not actually eating anything right now. Eating is weird. You put food in your mouth and turn it into a sludge before going down to your stomach where it turns into more sludge and then it comes out as even more sludge. We're mostly slug. Today I thought about it and onions. Today I moved to another onion. It's like the onion before, but it grows differently. It's also longer, which means it's better. Things are better when longer, unless they're not better, in which case you should make it shorter. Good point. Is you did it. You did it. I got nothing. Oh man. Okay. Um, is YouTube loaded? 669 subscribers. Got laser DIY kit, 12 hours time lapse, short stroll through a blizzard, winter stroll, 2 months of nights, winter time lapse. So it does time lapse videos and like let's see if this loads. Give that some time. Weird. Tree people. Um. Yeah. Okay. That's something. I'm not going there. But we will read pants. Pants are weird. I started writing about dresses, but I realized I don't wear them. They look weird too, but I thought I'd stick to something I know best. Come to think of it, I don't know that much about pants either. I mean, I wear them, but I have no idea who made them. I mean, I do know there's a label, but not who. That made no sense. I have a bad spelling and grammar. If someone made my pants, it's a person who probably wore a name tag, and if there were probably more than one person involved, or a really, really super talented person, but that's not who makes cheap jeans. My jeans aren't environmentally friendly. I feel bad about that, but I didn't pick them. They were a gift. I mean, I don't know for a fact that they are environmentally unfriendly, but I'm pretty sure they are. They're made by a famous person who didn't actually make them. I'm tired of talking about pants. All right, so this is just a website about a guy or girl who just wants to write about stuff, and that's interesting. Cheers. Hey, you do you, Say hi to everyone there, and you have a good time. But us, we're going to go to the next site. Okay, well, that YouTube video wouldn't load, which is normally to be expected for deep web. Usually, if you try to load YouTube, because of the proxies you run through to remain anonymous and safe, things aren't going to load as well. It's a lot slower. You got to go through a lot of different little hoops to get the thing loaded, and I didn't want to wait that long. So, but anyways, here we have Debian, Debian, the Universal Operating System. Free operating system for your computer. An operating system, I know what that is. Debian provides more than a pure OS. It comes with over 59,000 packages, precompiled software bundled up in a nice format for easy installation on your machine. Okay, let's read more. What is Debian anyway? The Debian project is an association of individuals who have made a common cause to create a free operating system. The operating system we have created is called Debian. An operating system is, yes, we know. Debian systems currently use Linux kernel or FreeBSD kernel. Linux is a piece of software. Yes, that's great. I'm happy for you. It's all free. You may be wondering, why would people spend hours of their own time to write software, carefully package it, and then give it all away? The answers are as varied as the people who contribute. Some people like to help others. Many write programs to learn more about computers. More and more people are looking for ways to avoid the inflated price of software. A growing crowd contribute as a thank you for all the great free software they've received from others. Many in academia create free software to help get results of their research into wider use. Businesses help maintain free software so they can have a say in how it develops. There's no quicker way to get a new feature than to implement it yourself. Of course, a lot of us just find it great fun. Debian is so committed to free software that we thought it would be useful if that commitment was formalized in a written document. Thus, our social contract was born. Although Debian system believes in free software, there are cases where people want or need to put non-free software on their machine. Whenever possible, Debian will support this. There are even a growing number of packages whose sole job is to install non-free software into a Debian system. Yes, yes, we know. Everything is free! Frequently asked questions. Oh wow, that's cool. I'm still not convinced. Don't take our word for it. Try Debian yourself. Since hard disk space has become less expensive, you can probably spare about 2 gigabytes. If you don't want or need a graphical desktop, 600 megabytes are sufficient. Debian can easily be installed on this extra space and can coexist with your existing OS. If you eventually need more space, you can simply delete one of your OSs, and after you see the power of Debian system, we are confident you won't delete Debian. As trying a new operating system will take some of your valuable time, it is understandable that you may have reservations. For this reason, we have compiled a list of pros and cons for Debian. This should help you decide whether you think it's worth it. We hope you'll appreciate our honesty and frankness. Okay, who are they? How did it all get started? Oh, Debian was begun in August 1993 by Ian Murdoch. It has a new distribution which would be made openly in the spirit of Linux and GNU. Debian was meant to be carefully and conscientiously put together and to be maintained and supported with similar care. It started as a small, tightly knit group of free software hackers and gradually grew to become a large, well organized community of developers and users. So you can look at the history if you want to. You can look at the developers corner. You look at their structures, where they're from, where they're going. That's cool. That's really cool. I really appreciate what they're doing because for a lot of people, even though if you buy a new computer, you get Windows or the Macintosh OS, whatever that is right now. I'm not really up to date on that, but you do get them when you buy new computers. But this is an opportunity to get a new OS that is trying new things and has been in development for like 20, what did I say, 2000 or 1993. So fucking, oh, I'm bad at math. Don't mind me. 26 years. Boy. So reasons to choose, pros, cons. Oh, I thought I did the pros and cons. Well, who's Debian? Oh, he's using Debian. He's installation free. So yeah, this is a free easy to use question mark operating system for people that just want something free. So there you go. Debian. Whoa. Oops. uh, yeah, so that's it for Debian. You can check it out if you want to. I don't provide deep web links, but this has a ClearNet website address as well at www.debian.org if you want to try it out. But for us, let's go to something else. Okay, so here we have website. You found your way to a web place. This is a basic collection of pages relating to things that I work on: computers, glitch art, photography, crafts, and whatever else ends up here. So it's just someone's personal website, it looks like. Let's see what they got. Okay. A gallery of some images I've made over the years. The versions embedded on this page are quite compressed. The images they link to, however, are not, so they take some time to download. Whoa. You got some crazy art, bro. You know, instead of doing that on it, and it's just cycling through automatically. So there's just art he's done, pictures he's taken and edited in like probably Photoshop or GIMP or something of the like. Something really powerful because I don't know that's cool. And he's got so much. I don't know. Oh, they were loading. That's why it was glitching around. Appropriate. Some of these he's just got simple filters on, like this one here. But then he's got some stuff that's just insane. Like I don't know what the hell's going on with that picture there. Uh, uh, this one's really nice. Let's let that load. Yeah, let's look at his crafts. His or her. My gosh. He made some clay art of gnomes and such things. A books. Uh, Lots of gnomes. That's weird. I don't know why you're doing that, but hey, man, to each your own. To each their own. You know, you do that, and I'll go. I don't like this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at computers. Let's just load them all up at once. Uh, Blog posts. In accordance with my interest in computers, I'm obliged to use some rather minor distribution, and also obliged to tell you about how wonderful and great my distribution of choice is. In this case, Crew, or Crooks, however you want to call it. Let's look at Crooks, or Crew. And now, and how whichever operating system you use, whatever it happens to be, it is almost assuredly inferior by several very large quantities. Unless, of course, you happen to be a fellow user of Crux or Crew, in which case, good for you, and here, have some ports. Okay, I think the people at Debian will like to have a word with you about that, but let's not start a war here. There's some ports for you. I don't know what those are for, but let's have a look. Just poke around this guy's website, but I'll get to that in a second. Get rid of that. This is, as you may have guessed, a website. Due to the fun possibilities of the great system of tubes, versions of the site are hosted in several places with several sets of content. Presumably, if you are here, you know at least one of these addresses, but enclose your ears, eyes, or other text readers at the appropriate spot so I don't tell you something you already know, please. It is also available on Tor v2 at this onion, on a v3 hidden service at this onion, ClearNet as amsel.is, and now I2P and in full color at this address here. Additionally, some of my stuff is also available at Plamora Place. On another note, I was going to put here a message with something about how all the content contained herein is copyright 2018 Ansel Mo, and all rights reserved, and stuff like that, and thought it was meant as a joke. Early market testing suggested it would be taken rather more poorly than I had hoped. Unfortunately, this leaves me without a clear idea of quite what sort of license-ish comments to put here. I've often been asked and usually give a fishy answer that goes along the lines of something liberal, permissive, or of commercial use. Feel free to use Feel free to attribute me and maybe one of those Creative Commons things. This usually satisfies them, but is still a tad fishier than one might hope for, and might give inconsistent impressions to each person I happen to speak to. Therefore, in the interest of cleaning up any confusion, I assembled this rambly webpage. Maybe actually the bit you care about if you're into the licensing things. All the images and other things here on this site, unless otherwise stated, are the property of my cat. She doesn't seem to mind what you, I, or anyone else does with them, and neither should you, or so I figure. Well, that's cool. If you want to properly license that, you probably have to go through some kind of process, but you can put all rights reserved. You can put copyright dates on there if you want to, and that'll usually deter people, but I don't know if lawyers would be cool with that. So don't quote me. I'm not a legal advisor of any kind, and I'm just here browsing your website. Yeah, yeah. Server not found on that one. Bad gateway on that one. General updates, hosting, server fun, trying to release prints, real glitch. Let's look at one of these and one of these. As probably everyone who looks at this site with regularly already knows, I've been looking into trying to make a set of prints and ship them out into the wider world at some point in the very near future. If anyone has interest, they should kindly shortly contact me shortly on IRC, Ansel Mo on Freenode, or on a couple of other networks. I will surely be shipping to locations in Europe and North America and perhaps also Australia. Of course, I'd be willing to look into shipping elsewhere, but shipping tubes long distances can become expensive. So yeah, if you want to help Anselmo out, just hit him up on IRC, Freenode, or wherever else. Just search Anselmo, you'll probably find them, and you can help support their cause. That'd be cool. They got good prints. So for now, while now I've been keeping up with another web presence, which is a bit inaccessible to some people for reasons not limited to the delightful background image. Over the last little bit, I've been putting together this other website with the plan to make it accessible to the normal internet. And because I'm silly, I didn't bother with the trouble of moving that website and instead just wrote a whole new one. Anyways, this seems to mostly work so far, and I probably will hopefully add more in the nearest future. Good luck. Crux or Crew. Crux, a lightweight Linux distribution. So it's a really simple Linux distribution website or operating system. If you're a fan of Linux, you can check it out. I've already talked about one Debian, and I'm not going to do another one. So goodbye, Crux or Crew. You have a nice day. Untrusted comment. I don't know what that is or how to use it. What is all of this? I don't want. This is a directory of sorts, but I don't really know what it's for. Personal ports repository for the Crux distribution. Some of these have been shamelessly stolen, but usually updated from versions available in other folks' ports. If any of these appear out of date, please contact me at either my email brie@wire.net or inselmo at one of several IRC nets. Is that Brian or Brianna or Brianna or Sin? But support them. All right, and last but not least, we've got this lovely image. It's really cool. That's some good glitch art, and I appreciate what they're doing. So, wow. I guess they said I could use this as a thumbnail if it happens to be a thing that shows up as one of the chosen thumbnails, because I'm not going to try to clip it out. Huh. So, and that's this person's Anselmo's perfect personal great website, and I hope that you like that. But if you do, just hit him up, help him get some prints out there. But we've got other places to be. The Tesseract. 14 threes. Stop coming here, Todd. We got this. I don't know if this is even going to play or what it is. I don't hear anything. Home, forced birth, glamping. Is it worth the splurge? Apocalypse, Bernie's Deep Web Conspiracies, Jane, editor notes, Dark Zuckerberg, classifies Disillusion, Wilderness, Horoscopia, Steve, Peggy, and Donate. This is the Tesseract. So I'm noticing that my microphone is now doing something weird. I hear myself, and I don't know if their website has anything to do with that. I'm going to sort through these and edit out any that are bad. So if you notice any weird jump cuts on this site, then now you know why, because there's some dubious titles in some of these, but I'm going to look at all of them because this site is weird. You got this, can I zoom in on that? It's at signs. That's cool. Pharaoh eye. I don't know what that's called because I'm uncultured swine, but you know that's really something. But let's see. Oh, it's just a picture of the Tesseract. I guess it's called the Tesseract logo. Cool. Shh. What's up, Uterinistas? It's been a while since I posted, but it's because your girl's been undercover at Forced Birth Glamp. That's right, the incorporated theocracy behind the Cannibal Creek diet and everyone's favorite dolphin-based opioid, fentanyl, have been answered the prayers of the incu bitches everywhere by upgrading the experience at the new camp La Mushara. Most of us only have so many duplicate organs lying around, but for the sake of my beloved razors, this set of reproductive organs wrapped in meat dedicated to splurge. Here's my totally unbiased review. Okay, so she stayed at what? What? La Machera nails the vibe, and I'm not just talking about the crucified unfertile lining the walls. There isn't mist detail, lukewarm showers of blossoming dogwoods to disguise the sniper towers, medical stirrups covered in comfy faux fur, with only 16 people per room and 2 blankets on your steel slatted cot. You'll think you died and went to heaven. You didn't because of the Faustosil injections that won't allow your heart to stop no matter how sweetly death calls, but it's close enough for this egg bearer. What the fuck is going on with this? What is this? This is hands down the rape. This is hands down everyone's least favorite part of camp, so I was interested to see how La Machera would improve the experience. Imagine my surprise when they presented me with a beautiful hand that's hand lettered menu. Though we're married, so you can't call it that. It just feels so much better without a condom. The friend with the roofie and the classic. How's a semen vessel supposed to choose? And I didn't. I smacked her across the face with the menu and called me a fecund whore. But the illusion of choice made for a real change-up. The wait. Obvi, the most boring part of going to camp is filling the time. Once you're prigged up, you fall into a routine, wake up, cry in the group shower, write my body is government property and wholly owned subsidiary of Pfizer, and knew a few hundred times talked someone out of running because they can't run. Where would they go? There's no one out there to help, but maybe we should do it. We could run. They can't shoot all of us, can they? Fortunately, La Machera offers activities to break up the monotony. Highlights of my incarceration included roasting vitamin cubes over the campfire, sunrise self-flagellation, and bingo night with Kyle. What the fucking hell is this? Birthing camp? So you what? You get raped and then like are forced to give birth, but if you try to leave, you get sniped. What the fuck is this? Before I get to the birthing experience, I want to shout out La Mushara for their medical care. While other camps only do the bare minimum to nudge you over the finish line, they do it while pumping you full of truly mind-altering sedatives. But they save the best for the birth. No belt line and blow anesthesia here. Instead, I had a total out-of-body experience. I looked down on them extracting a human bun from my body oven, and when I couldn't bear to look any more, I glanced up and saw a divine entity seated among the stars, its form composed entirely of hands, each one of them flipping off the planet from space. When I finally came around, the baby was gone. I'd been sewn back up and left on the edge of the wasteland with an adorable La Machera branded canteen. Overall rating: I don't regret my stay at La Machera, but I wouldn't and physically can't do it again. While it was a nice twist on a tired formula, the formula's still there. Turns out, if you hate camping, you won't love it with the extra bells and whistles. They did add one final unexpected touch. As I wandered through the desert evading war bands, I found a photograph they'd tucked into my jumpsuit. The baby, 871092B, I'd never seen one before. It's so random how none of us know where they go. If this was a person with its eyes and nose and possibly even a uterus, did that mean that I might also be a person who deserved more? Fortunately, my anti-hysteria patch kicked in, and away went those complicated thoughts. Till next time, dear readers, stay docile out there. Natalie Holt is a comedian from the time before when the servers hadn't followed, and you could follow her on Twitter. Okay, so it's probably a parody. It's right. It's got to be right. It's a parody site. What a toggle downfall. Oh, it's a video. Look at that. Is it gonna load? Uh, well, that's not. It doesn't like it. It's really hard to get these to load, so we're gonna just leave that over there. Sports 2022, the underscore 2022 MLB recap with Grant Mullets. 2022 NFL season 102 National Football League history. What is? Huh. I slid past the left tackle, run full speed for a sack on Tim Tebow, and as I dove at him, he just disappeared. Referees are having a hard time officiating pro football with all the random raptures that are taking place in the first season since the apocalypse started. In the play mentioned above, it was ruled a fumble, and the defense got possession of the ball. But how do you officiate players being kidnapped by God at random times? It's a question that has been debated heavily by 31 of 32 teams. The Browns finally feel they have a chance and are embracing the Raptures. Suggestions have ranged from required pregame demon worship to all players must eat ketchup on steak before each game to decrease the likelihood of rapture. These techniques have not been working, as yesterday saw a moment where a predominant 5-time Super Bowl winning quarterback threw a perfect pass to a wide open receiver in the end zone who just vanished, letting the ball hit the ground like a frat boy after his first kickstand. Remember those? Reached out to the head of officiating clarification on some of the game rules, but they were recently raptured as well. At the time of this writing, there are only two teams left with one player each. It is Vontae's Perfect versus Nadamakong Suh. Riveting. Righteous. Another one of those, but with what? Oh, so there was a nuke. 2022. 3 years out, we got a nuke to look forward to. Apocalypse at Bernie's. What the hell was Kresge doing down at St. Catherine's morgue last Saturday night? Got a call from Julio Alvarez, attendant at St. Catherine's Hospital, says he saw Kresge twice that day. First in the hospital pharmacy, buying one crutch and a large roll cloth adhesive tape. Then seen again near the morgue entrance about an hour later. Witness says this time he had the one crutch and some dry cleaning turquoise shirt and white linen pants, maybe. Both very blousy for like a summer guy. Okay. That's different things from Christie's conspiracies. New Facebook updates enable iPhones to see you through your clothing. Every time you tweet, a bird learns a new song. Snapchat was originally supposed to be snapping collaboration network, but because less than 2% of the population can snap their fingers, they changed their minds. There's a secret part of the government that frequently goes into your dryer and steals one of your socks. Martians are controlling your televisions. We are all really microbes swimming inside a gigantic robot. Space is merely the dark web of the mechanical bloodstream. If you leave cookies under your bed, aliens will protect you. The internet doesn't really exist. It's a figment of a global imagination. The royal wedding will be the first time a woman becomes a prince and a man becomes a princess. When birds sing at night, it's because they don't want to get sunburned. Okay. Monkeys created the first computer, the banana. Le? The banana. All organic foods all come from Martians. If you swivel your hips really quickly, you can fly 30 feet into the air. If you use your tears to water plants, they will become sad. Well, this seems to be Christie's conspiracies. She has a lot of interesting thoughts on the way that things work. So, cheers to you. Classic fantasy. Oh my god, this is never stops. What is it? Oh god, I'm not reading that. So if you want to read Classic Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, that's a thing. Jane 6 is also a thing. You can read Jane's periodicals. I'm not doing that. Editor notes. Oh, this is updated last year. Internet is becoming a place for the wealthy, entitled, who are bullying people by being offended. I'm not sure what anything means anymore. Nothing is simple anymore. I truly hope that here becomes a safe place for people to write science fiction comedy and feel safe doing so. I built this place today on a server inside of a $30 Raspberry Pi. I relearned HTML and coded the whole thing from scratch because I've always felt that if you want to do something right, then you should see it every step or tag of the way, much like in the floating opera. I'll always be wearing my best suit while painting this boat. I can't fuck up my best suit, so I won't fuck around while painting this boat. I gathered a lot of writers, some from Funny or Die and other amazing places, and we hope that you see us. Thank you. Timothy Pizza, editor. So it's a safe haven for people that just want to write whatever they write. That's really nice. That's really nice. You may have heard about the psychological profiling app built by the unscrupulous university researcher that, without compensating us, sold Facebook data of millions of people back in 2014. This was a breach of trust, and I'm sorry we didn't do more to profit off that type of data usage at the time. We're now taking steps to make sure this doesn't happen again and that Facebook can always profit off of your data. Luckily, this situation was already rectified. When the Trump campaign came to us with these psychological profiles in 2016, we were able to monetize the previously stolen data by allowing them to target our own users with it and pay us tens of millions of dollars to push it out to them. So while they fooled us on the front end, we got them on the back end. We're also investigating every single app that had access to large amounts of data before we fixed this to figure out how we could steal whatever monetization strategies they had and implement them ourselves. We expect there are others, and when we find them, we will tell our board and major shareholders about them. Finally, we'll remind you that we don't ever tell you which companies were given access to the information in exchange for money, so you can never be sure who is targeting you and for what purpose. This will allow us to keep you in the dark about how our platform is affecting your brain as long as possible. Thank you for believing in our monetization strategies. I promise to do better for you. Dark Zuckerberg. Okay, so this is a thing that is actually kind of scary because even though this is a satirical piece on this, it's actually a real thing that is kind of happening. Like they do. I mean, this might be reaching conspiracy level, but I believe that they really do sell our data, and they can. And no matter what they tell us, they are allowed to do that because we each put it online, and they're just able to have whatever they want. So whatever, right? Nothing we can do about that because we're not going to stop. No, 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 no. Delicate nudes. Uh, the inevitable conclusion to porn addiction is getting off mentally, not being able to get off physically. It is a dark window of darkness that you realize the ultimate high is perfect face androgynous. Figure out before you, tempting you, guiding you into darkness. It's a butthole. Well, my client gave me this photo and I can't unsee it. I asked for everything she had on the guy, and when you're trying to video of clothing, preferably nude in color, in a dryer, zoom in on delicate cycle. Count the stretch marks. You can estimate how. It's a pile of clothes. Right? A window is just a real life sneaky photograph, and to protect my well being, I don't know if I. It's technically a drawing, perhaps an artifact from the Titanic. She's definitely nude and has been drawn in what I would call the French girl fashion. It's incredibly blurry and a bit disappointing. You weren't sure what you thought they'd look like, but certainly it wasn't this. Pierre! It's kind of hard to say. That could just be a penis, or it might be a weird rock formation in some bushes. A man stands in basketball uniform. His hair is long enough to cover his shoulders. His mushroom cap softly hangs out of his shorts. He has a curious smile. Right. Tall, dark, handsome. You anything, just be child size. Stop drawing me. I can see you from across the train, creep. Yeah, man, for sure. I'm down for anything right now. Hands. I'm coming for you, Carl. My face, MFW. Must love my mother as she runs this motel with me and we share everything, even her dresses. Looking for a brief relationship with a shortish person. Please at least be shorter than the length of the average chest Fraser. Brenda, will you go to prom with me? Cassette tapes, encouraging women whispering, "You can do it, baby," in a loving tone. Repeats for 60 minutes. Remix on B-side. This is a video. Will it load? I don't want to download anything. I'm not going to download it, but I assume it's a thing. I don't really want to do that. Maybe when we're further in and I'm more accustomed to this, we'll start to do the videos. But right now, I'm not too worried about that. Horoscopia. Uh, so it's just, I'm a Pisces, so I'll read mine. Your nostalgia will kick in when you hear March into the Sea at a cash-only coffee bar in Berkeley. You will go home and listen to the rest of We Were Dead before the ship even sank, and you'll pine for when the Modest Mouse was good, at which point you will reflect on the string of events that led you to this situation, and you will be plunged into an existential ennui as it draws on you that you have become the very thing that you hate. Jeez, man. Chill out. Alright. Well, how about for April? Uh, April showers bring May flowers, but also remember that April meat sweats bring May regrets. Cool it on the breakfast cheese sticks, bud. Okay. I guess. And this month, spending time with loved ones will feel like the ultimate getaway. To make sure you're making the most of your time, be sure to prep appropriately by burning off your fingerprints, and having a bug out bag with necessities such as a couple false passports, temporary hair dye, and $1,000 each in non-sequential American dollars, euros, and yen. Well, thanks. Thank you for letting me know. Wow. One shots. That's the story. I'm not reading it. Too long. Too long. Thanks, Steve Pogge. I appreciate everything you've done. You can donate to them, all of them, I guess. I don't know what any of that is. But if you want to donate to Tesseract, you can. So that's Tesseract. 14 threes. They don't want Todd here for some reason, and that's pretty much it. I like Horoscopia the most, I would say, and if it's still, even though it's meant as a satirical safe haven type website with a bunch of sci-fi fanfic and stuff like that, it is weird. It is really weird. But yeah, so I guess we'll move on. See you later, Tesseract. And this has been the first ever inaugural episode of the Deep Web. I haven't thought of a clever name for it. Deep Web Interactive. Deep, Deep Tube. Deep, Deep, Deep Net. Deep, Deep. It's deep. That's the point. So if you like it, let me know. This is an experiment. I'm not really sure if you're gonna be into it. We found some interesting sites this time, though. The Tesseract. We found a Hitman website and some personal websites, and it's all. We even found two separate free operating systems. One Linux based, and one seems to be its own thing. It might also be Linux based. I didn't really look too much into what it was based on, but it might just be from scratch. So if you want to try either of those out or whatever else, you can. Uh, but this kind of proves to me that the deep web, there is, in the process of researching for this episode, there's definitely some scandalous stuff. Like we did, I mean, we even showed you one of the Hitman and all that. But all in all, the deep web is not nearly as scary as people make it out to be, and you should definitely look into it if you can. I don't know if I'll ever do a tutorial on how to access it, but I'm sure there's plenty online. And the guy I mentioned at the beginning, Mudahar, with Some Ordinary Gamers, has a tutorial on his page. Go check that out if you'd like. Maybe I'll put a link in the description for that. But if you guys like this, it's going to be an ongoing series for a while at least until I can't find anything ever. But it's the deep web. There's going to be endless content for everyone. And yeah, so one more time, let me know what you think. I'm Robert with Uniconic Interactive, and I'll see you next time.